your hand forward and it gives you a nice stretch. So Balasana is one of those paradoxes, if I can say it. It's about forgetting, and I will explain that just now. But first, let's do the benefits of this pose. So it releases tension in the neck and shoulder areas. So that simple stretch there now stretches the entire back. It helps with stress and anxiety. If you're feeling dizzy, this is the go-to pose. Or if you're feeling weak, just get into child's pose. It helps a lot. It lengthens the spine. It normalizes circulation throughout the body. And this pose, because it's so comfortable to be in, you can stay in this pose for up to 10 minutes. It's just an awesome pose to be in. So the contraindications, not many. So it's just if you have knee or ankle injuries, then obviously this pose is not going to be for you. Pregnant women as well cannot do this pose. And if you have like major issues with the spine, depending on what the issues are as well. So this pose is one of those poses that you can even do at night before you go to bed. So Arishka, thank you very much. So the mythology or the symbolism of this pose. So this pose touches on Krishna. Like, I don't know if you heard know what Leela is. So Leela is mentioned many times in the Bhagavad Gita, not in the Bhagavad Gita, sorry, in Hindu literature regarding Krishna. So they always speak of his pastimes. And those are Leela. So when he was little, he forgot his divinity in a sense, but in a light way. So it's like a paradox. He's grounded in his divinity, but he forgot his divinity. So in his childhood, he seemed to be your normal child, but he was actually a divine being. So he was grounded in divinity, but forgot who he was in a light sort of way. So how does it relate to us? So we need to establish ourselves in our divine nature, and at the same time, in a sense, forget it to actually live in this world. So it's like it's you are a being of light, and you're living in this world, but not of this world. It's a simple pose to do, but it's a little bit difficult to explain. And I hope I'm getting my message across. So this pose is just an awesome feel-good pose. So when you're there, literally when you're doing this pose, you will find that you have nothing to think about. There's nothing to do. It's grounding. It brings you a deep sense of relaxation. So I hope you understand what I'm saying with us forgetting our divine nature, yet being grounded in it. Yes, so that's Balasana for me.
So Shalona, in the Brahma Kumaris, we have a very nice take on this here. Because, when, there's a saying that goes, if you have humility, it's the one thing you shouldn't tell anyone you have. You can't utter that I am humble. It should come from others that you are humble.
Yes.
So the way I'm looking at what you're saying is that there was this divine being, and oblivious of being divine, but behaved with divinity. And that's part of the purity of, or this whole aspect of being connected in love, because there's no separation, I think for me, what is kind of like leading to taking the pose and then connected to the quality is that, very often, if I know I'm spiritual and I have this understanding that I'm spiritual, can develop an ego.
Yeah.
It's the ego that creates separation. Whereas if there is that deep sense of innocence, there is love, because I don't separate myself from the other, and I don't make myself exclusive. because you look at Krishna, and again using the mythology, he used to, as divine as he was, he played, he was light and easy. He didn't prounce around like, I'm just like something so special. And that kind of, because, with the child comes that deep sense of innocence as well. And only when we're innocent can we love sincerely. Otherwise, it'll always be conditioned. We'll always have some kind of expectations, and even maybe in ourselves hold certain things so that we kind of emerge, want to create some kind of presence of our own self, which then becomes artificial and it's not natural. So I'm taking this, but before we get into the more philosophical things, I tried it while you were talking about it. So with the forward lunge, do you put your forehead onto the mat as well?
But if you can't reach, you can always use a yoga block or a pillow or something just to comfort, to bring that, make it more, so it becomes more relaxed, more comfortable for you. But yes,
I can see that. Yeah, as much as you say it's a real easy pose, you need to really be agile to kind of bend over. And I can see kids very easily just throw themselves down because they can bend this way and that way quite easily. So I'm looking at the idea that for your body to kind of be so relaxed, you have to be someone who doesn't hold on to anything. And that's what love is all about, where we don't hold any grudges, we don't hold any judgment, opinions of anybody or anything. There's such a feeling of me and you being one. We come from the same source, we belong to the same land, we have the same values. And so what then is really generated is a very inclusive energy. And that inclusive energy is what makes everyone feel loved. As soon as one becomes, like even with the teacher, if you think you know too much and you're using your knowledge to, make a point, it actually stops that learning process, because I like to know and like to sort of hold this feeling that it is love that really is the great teacher, because it embraces you and then you actually have the power to mold yourself. So whilst you're absolute, it looks really easy. I think trying it wasn't that easy. I think I was able to do the back one easier for some reason. But I think what was interesting was that injury that I had on my arm didn't allow me to stretch forward the way I thought I could. So in my mind, I know that this body could have done it, but that injury is definitely creating a little bit of a setback. So I hope you making notes, Shalona. We need to sort that one out as well.
No, but you can do it the other way as well. That's why we showed you both the versions, because both of it's just a feel-good pose. But it makes you, and if you have the flexibility, like you have an injury that's stopping you, but if you can get into that forward stretch, that's the ultimate relaxation, in my opinion. When I told the girls we're doing Balasana, both of them wanted to do it. Because it's an awesome pose.
You should have got both of them to do it, man.
So it's like, I personally love that pose. It also helps with anxiety. If you're in a state of anxiety, and if you just get into that pose, like in 5 minutes, you'll find that you're much calmer, much more relaxed. I think the pressure on the forehead also helps in calming the brain and all the activities that's going on in there. So it's one of those poses, once you experience it, you will understand.
Well, I guess now when you see a baby bend over like that, you know exactly what kind of list the child is in. But going back to the pose and the whole bending over, you know, when you have your hands up like that, you know, and or forward, it's also a kind of a surrender, you know, and it's really important in our inner world to surrender, because when you are really holding on to something, you kind of really stuck. And so it is important that we kind of bring ourselves into that position where I do what I need to do. And then when the time is up and you need to move on, you kind of surrender to say, well, that's what it was meant to be. And then just let go and relax. And it is in that there is growth and change. And then sometimes in letting go, like, you know, when you walk away from the problem, you have clarity to see the full picture because you're not so involved in it. And then you exactly know what to do, which is also another quality of the whole child and love connection. Because I was thinking initially, maybe we should have used the quality of innocence, but I can really see that being the child, you know, you being the child and letting go and not holding on to is the real sense of love that we show ourselves. So for our thought card, what we have is, let me just, okay, I got it here. And so the element of love that is depicted here. Oh gosh, looks like we need glasses today. So it says, love by unwavering commitment to truth is a sign of being loving. My love allows me to remain constantly close to the truth in my thoughts, words, and deeds. My love allows me to remain in the experience of oneness and belonging to all. And my love allows me to remain in unity and consistency in my interactions. So, you know, when you think about, again, that whole idea of why we love children so much, they can kind of do all the wrong things, but when they come to you with that like nice, cute smile, then there's really nothing you can do in a sense. And it is something from that vibration that is like, you know, not holding on to. I think the thing with the child is in the moment, it gets the thought, it does it, and then it's finished. And then it will look at you like, what happened actually? Like, you know, I don't know. I was just there, you know. And I think in life, if we also remained more present with ourselves, we'll find ourselves going through less anxiety. Because you even said that the benefit of this pose is that it really allows you to release the anxiety. And so being a child in consciousness, well, childlike will be definitely disastrous, but being childish would really be a disaster. But being childlike is actually very powerful because it will give me that opportunity to really utilize those qualities of sweetness. And again, think about a child, right? They're very cute, you know? They know how to blend in. They know when to do this, when to do that. They kind of don't hold like one set, you know? If they're playing with an adult, they like completely immersed and they're quite enchanted. And then if their friend comes along, they're just happy to let go of the person they were playing with and off they go with their friend. And so that ability to change from one scene to another scene very quickly without holding on to something, you know, like when we get too stubborn in holding on to things, determination is completely different. But when you get stubborn in holding on to, it can actually be quite detrimental to the self. So I really like this. I mean, I'm taking away from me that feeling that to let go, to be easy, to be one with myself, so I can have that ability to interact with everybody much easily because I'm not uptight and I'm relaxed. And that definitely is obviously going to give me a better use and I'll be operating in full capacity rather than half measures. So before we get into the meditation, Shalona, any closing remarks?
For me, if you look at a child, right, like you said, it evokes all of these feelings of love, and you just can't help but love the child. And the only reason that is because that child is love, and the vibration it's sending is love. And I think that if all of us can look at another individual and feel love and see love, then we won't really have a problem, will we?
Mm.
We won't. Yeah,
So
that's it.
important step in our lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. Nice time for us to step into our child pose, to relax and let go. And let me take this opportunity as I let go and relax, just to first of all come into the present moment. And as I bring myself into the moment, let me feel the seat I'm sitting on and move myself into a space of comfort. Let me make sure that my whole body is actually sitting in a position that is comfortable, not creating any tension. I'm not holding on to anything. And so I use the power to let go and bring the image of myself as this tiny being of pure light energy. I am the living soul. And as a soul, I am the sparkling star. I'm free from this body. This body is my vehicle. And when I choose, I can park it to rest, while I, the soul, can go beyond. And for a moment, I take myself beyond even this physical body, out into the orbit of the earth, beyond. And I see myself as a star hanging in the vast, unlimited space. And as I take myself even further away, I see the earth as a tiny, beautiful blue pearl. And I know and recognize that to be the planet, the physical home, where I, the soul, reside with the Supreme. And in this beautiful awareness of just being the star, I experience my lightness, my freedom. I see my beauty and feel the rays of love and peace spreading out of me into the world. I am a glowing, radiant being of light energy. I feel myself to be independent and free. as a living star. I am like a tiny sun who is creating its own light energy. And as that beautiful star, I'm able to transmit that energy in all four directions. In this form of light, I also see others as light and feel a deep sense of closeness and belonging to all souls of the world. This feeling of closeness finishes any feeling of comparison, competition, criticism, and I am in a powerful experience of being content and satisfied. So I hold this feeling. I keep that vision of the whole world as my family, belonging to all, and not just seeing them as beings of light, but seeing each one as a being of peace, love, happiness, joy, wisdom, and power. So today I commit myself to be that very source of love, become innocent of all that is different between me and the rest of the world, and embrace each one with that loving attitude of being a peaceful, pure, loving soul. And today, as I walk and move around, let me keep the flame of truth lit in my heart. And to all those who, for some reason, have stepped away from their highest power, in consciousness, I bring them into my mind, into my heart, and create a powerful boost for each one to reunite with his or her elevated consciousness. And I remind myself that when I change, the world changes. Om Shanti.